Good evening and welcome to the Oliveboard platform. My name is Marut Sharma, your logical reasoning expert, and we are here today to start this new section, new topic of inequalities. This is the new cycle, a new beginning of our foundation course. So welcome all of you. Good evening, good evening, good evening. And for a lot of you, you are continuing in a cycle, so don't worry. Okay. Now, today's focus point or topic is inequalities. Very important from the point of view of any examination, let's say railways, RRB, or let's say SSC, or any other one-day examination, or even banking examinations and other examinations, right? But of course, the level of question changes and the frequency is decent. It's not very high. You will not see 2, 3 questions, 4 questions in a section, but at least one question you can expect. Why do we need to understand or study this in the first place? Can't we do it with common sense? See, majority of the reasoning section can be solved with common sense. The only problem is it becomes difficult when it is time-based. If I restrict your time in the logical reasoning section or the overall paper, what happens is it is so restricted in these SSC and railway exams that you can't even afford to think. If a student is actually solving each question, a student is an excellent person in reasoning, he has a very high IQ, so he's sitting for this exam, right? And there is no time gap. Okay, so the person is thinking, solving, thinking, solving. He will still be able to solve 90% plus questions easily without any issue. Then what is the challenge? The challenge is the same problem which when only limited to, let's say, an hour, and the reasoning section limited to, let's say, 18, 19 minutes. That makes it very challenging. That is where you make decisions, and that is where you make faulty decisions because you are in a hurry, right? So we need to learn to avoid that, and for that what we need to do is we need to stop the thinking process. So how do we, what do we replace it with? We replace it with mathematics. We need to understand it once and for all. So these are the types of questions which are asked. So we need to convert them into a mathematical approach so that we can get an answer without thinking anything. We just start applying the process, get the answer, move ahead. That ways a lot of thinking is eliminated, and that is the whole purpose of this topic which you're going to learn here today, right? Now let's start. So what exactly is inequalities? If I talk about the general, the basics in as far as the quant is concerned, as far as maths is concerned, equalities, if I remove this in, equality stand for equations. If I equate two quantities, LHS, RHS equated, they are known as equations, and these expressions are known as equality. Good evening. Good. Okay. So equalities means something which is equal quantities. Okay. For example, I am saying that A is equal to B. That means I am giving you a definite value that A, the value of A is equal to value of B. Now, when I add this in front, so this is for equal to, when I add this in, this suffix makes it not, sorry, prefix. This prefix makes it not. So, inequalities imply every quantity which is not equal to the other quantity. So, how do we denote that? We say equal and then we put a slash. A is not equal to B. Equality means entities which are equal to each other, and these entities we call them as elements. Anything in the world, any element, any number, letter, word, if one quantity is equal to the other, we call them equal quantities, or they come into the category of equality, and we call these as elements. A and B are elements, and if they are not equal, we will call them inequalities. So this is the logic. But you tell me, when I was saying that A is equal to B, when I was saying that A is equal to B, I was giving you a definite relation, wasn't I? I was giving you a definite relation that yes, A is equal to B. But when I'm saying A is not equal to B, this becomes slightly vague. Why vague? Because this does not have limits or boundaries. The scope has widened heavily when I'm saying A is not equal to B, because there are n number of things which will be fitting here. So it gets widened. So what do? I convert this into a definite scenario. How do I do that? If I'm saying that A is not equal to B, what are the possibilities? What are the most common possibilities? If A is not equal to B, A will either be greater than B or A will be less than B. These are the only two possibilities. See, either A is equal to B or A is not equal to B. If A is not equal to B, then A is either greater than B or less than B. Now, being greater and lesser reduces the scope a bit. It makes it slightly more definite. That's the whole idea. Okay. If I say I have two entities or two elements and I don't know what relation exists between them, I don't know anything, then what are the overall possibilities of relationships which exist between them? They can either be greater, A is greater than B, or A can be smaller than B, or A can be equal. These are the three possibilities, definite possibilities which can exist between. You understand? Whole story I said in front of you, make you understand this. Now we'll be utilizing this point as a principle in the upcoming session. Not now, but towards the end. So remember this. If there are two entities which we don't know a relationship about, I mean we cannot determine the relationship between them, then we can say that there are these three possibilities between them. Either it is greater or it is smaller or it is equal. Now some people have an issue with the greater and smaller sign. They are like, okay, which one is greater, which one is smaller? Is the greater sign, is this not necessary. Wherever the cave opens up, that is your greater sign. Wherever it is closing up, it's smaller sign. For here A is greater than B. For here B is smaller than A. The same sign is smaller than and greater than both. Less than and greater than both. A is less than B, B is greater than A. Again less than and greater than both. Depends on where it opens. Concave and convex world. Okay. This much I think you know, but I just need to go through everything so that you remember. So now what is the crux point which we are learning? We have just started. We have not yet moved to the actual territory. We are just starting. We are just going through the prerequisite. Okay. So what is the thing which we have picked up from here? We have picked up that symbols which are being utilized can be divided into basic categories. Symbols or which depict relations. One is definite. The other one we'll call as indefinite. Now what are they? Definite means they are giving some definite relation, some definite definition to the relation. So these three will come under the category of definite. That means something is existing. Either it is greater or it is smaller or it is equal. So what about indefinite? Indefinite means the scope has widened. I am not sure what is the limit to it. Everything comes under that category, which is not giving you a sure answer. Definite means surety. It is greater means it is greater. It is smaller means it is smaller. It is equal means it is equal. But if it is greater than equal to, that implies it is either greater or equal. I don't know which one is true. Okay. If it is less than equal to, again less than or equal to, what am I only sure of here? That it is definitely not smaller. If it is greater than equal to, it is not less than, but either greater or equal. If it is less than equal to, it is not greater than, but it is either less than or equal to. The third case is not equal to. Signs are indefinite symbols. Okay. Now, your inequalities is totally based on, the concept of complete inequalities is based on 5 rules. 5 rules which we will be learning as we progress through this. Okay. By the end of the session, you will be able to solve these questions, any question of inequalities with the help of these 5 rules. 5 rules is all we need, that's it. Okay. But what we are doing right now is we are laying the groundwork for those 5 rules, right? So, to make our lives easy, at this stage, I would suggest, if possible, please eliminate this sign and this sign from this classification. Okay. Technically, equal to comes under the definite category. Not equal to comes under the indefinite category, but remove it from there. Take them, consider them as separate entities. So, when I talk of definite symbols, I will only talk of greater than and less than. When I talk of indefinite symbols, I will only talk of greater than equal to and less than equal to. Is that clear? Equal to will be treated as a separate entity, so that it will become easier for us to understand in the rule. Right? These are the basics of inequality. These are the basics of. How is the question presented in front of you? The question, what will they do is, they will give you a statement. A statement, expression. Expression will be a long expression. Something like this. It is greater. And there will be some conclusion. 3, 4, any number of conclusions. There will be options here. to choose from these options. Only one follows, only two follows, both follow, none follow, either or follow, etc. From here. That is how questions are presented normally to you. But that's not the only way though. But majority of the questions at the railways and SSC level will always be asked in this way only. Majority of them. So we need to learn to figure this out. That is the whole game. Okay, we need to learn to figure. That is what we are going to do now. Okay. So whatever we have covered here, it's all mentioned here. I'll share this with you. Go through this. And now we start with the actual chapter. Okay, this we have already covered. As I told you, please eliminate this for a while. This stage. Don't, I mean, it's not that it does not exist here, it does. But for your knowledge, keep it out right now. Treat it separately. And from here, we officially start the 4 rules, the chapter of inequality. Okay, these are the 4 rules, and there is another 5th rule which I will discuss slightly later on. Okay, so let me also parallelly start with an example. So I am taking a statement here. The statement says that A is greater than B, and I need to find out, let's say I want to find out the relation between A and E. My purpose is to find out the relation A and E. So for that, I will learn these rules now. Okay. What is rule number 1? Rule number 1 says, whenever you have a long expression, okay, whenever you have a long expression and you need to go from one end to the other, or you need to check between one letter and the other letter, the elements, you need to break the set in 3 elements each or 2 signs each to approach it clearly, to make it easy for you to understand initially. That is the first rule. That means if I have here, I need to go from A to B, I can't do it directly at this stage. Later on, you will do it directly only. So much so that you will just read and tell me the relationship. But at this stage, no. At this stage, break it down into sections of 3. Only talk about A to C first. Then you will have A, C, D and the rest of them. Then talk about A to D. Then A, D, E, talk about A to E, and you will get your answer. Okay. That is how you will approach. You will break down the complete expression into sets of 3 elements or 2 signs. One is the same thing. Now, rule number 2, that is how you start solving. Rule number 2 says, if there is the same sign which is being carried forward, if there is a same sign which is being repeated, the same sign will be carried forward between. Okay. If same sign is being repeated, so that same sign will be carried forward between. So that is what is happening here. Exactly. How do I find a relationship? You can see there is the same sign here. So I can say A is greater than C. Rest of them will follow as it is. Okay. Now the next set is set of 3 elements again. I need to find between. Rule number 3. Rule number 3 says, whenever there is a combination of any sign with the equal to sign. Any sign means greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal. Any sign with the equal to sign will always drop the equal to sign. For example, here I am telling you A is greater than B is equal to C. So I will drop this equal to and I will consider this sign. So A is greater than C. Okay. And why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Because this is common sense. Common sense. If I tell you that A is greater than B and B is equal to C, so A will be greater than C also, no? What's the issue here? But rather than making yourself think in the exam, you have made it into a rule so that you remember it mathematically and you don't have to put your brains in the exam. So what is the next step here? In the next step, what I'll do is A greater than C equal to D, I will drop this equal to and I will have A is greater than D. Rest of them will be as it is. Okay. And now for A to E, I have this last leg which I remember and then get the relationship. And that also brings me to the 4th rule. Okay. What does the 4th rule say? Whenever there is a combination of a definite symbol and an indefinite symbol. Whenever there is a combination of a definite symbol and an indefinite symbol, the indefinite symbol will always be. do not consider the equal to sign. Equal to is not definite for these rules. Hence, I told you in the beginning to remove or to exclude equal to from the definite. Okay, definite is only greater than, less than. Indefinite is only greater than, equal to, less than, equal to. There is a competition between greater than and greater than equal to, or less than and less than equal to. The greater than equal to and less than equal to will always be dropped. For example, just look at this one. If I say that A is less than equal to B is less than C, so I will drop the indefinite symbol, so A will be less than. Okay. So what is happening here? Dropped. I will my final relation. I only wanted relation between A and E. I didn't want to go further. So my job here is done. My job here is done. So these are the 4 rules at this stage which you need to understand, which you need to remember, which you need to focus on, right? And which you need to learn to apply. Okay. So to develop a better recall, what we'll do is now that you've understood this, we will practice a few little examples. Okay. Some examples, not a lot. Some simple examples so that these rules are established in your head. These 4 rules we need first. Okay, don't overthink, don't think about anything else right now. So at this stage, these are the rules in Hindi, but you won't require it though. These are the 11 short examples which I want you guys to solve. So I want you to find the relationship between A and C of these 11 cases. And how will you do it? So your relation will be between A and C. And if at all you want to write something like greater than equal to. So rather than this, if you can't type it, you write it like this. Mention it in your chat box. Mention the question number, the unit number, and what is the relationship between A and C which you think is right. Everybody, I want you guys to participate in this and answer. Very good, Uttam. Read carefully and answer. What exactly is happening here? Everybody, put the question number and then write exactly what will be the relationship. The 4 rules which I have taught you, you only need to keep those rules in mind. And by the time you reach at number 11, the rules will be established in your head. They will be etched in your subconscious without any issue. Everybody. Uttam is doing a good job, but what about the others? I want everybody to participate. Okay. Just the 4 rules we have done right now. That's all we need. Relationship. By the time you reach number 11, you will now understand that, okay, yeah, I really don't have to put. Has become mathematical. Right? Let's check it now. So the same sign is being repeated here. So it will carry forward again. A is greater than. Okay. Here greater than and equal to. With equal to will be dropped always, no matter what the sign is. A is greater than. Less than and less than equal to. One is definite, one is indefinite. Drop the indefinite always. A is less than. Again, greater than, same sign. So A is greater than. Less than and equal to, drop the equal to. So A is less than. Okay. Greater than equal to. Drop the definite. A is greater than. Less than equal to, drop the equal to. A is less. Again, drop the equal to. A is greater than equal to. Greater than equal to, drop the greater than equal to. Same symbols. A is less than equal to. Symbols. I think by now it's quite clear to everybody how to approach these, right? कोई बात नहीं. Okay? Everybody has understood this? So by now we are clear with the 4 rules. These are the 4 ground rules of how to solve an inequality question. And trust me, with these 4 rules alone, you can solve 80% of your question. Because usually they don't complicate up to the level where you actually need the 5th rule. But the 5th rule is the most important rule. The 5th rule is actually slightly challenging. You will need some backstory for it. Okay. some background, some backdrop you will require so that you understand what exactly happens in the right. For now, we are done with the 4 rules. Okay, let's move on to the 5th rule. Right. So some principle I will explain to you before we start. We jump on to the 5th rule. The principle is that what will you do if you come across something like now? Tell me what is the relation. A is greater than B and B is less than C. So what is the relationship between A and C? Uttam, the reason for this is if I am saying A is greater than B is equal to C. Okay, I can arrange it manually as A is greater than B and B is equal to C. A will also be greater than C. So what will be the relation between A and C? It will be greater only. So rather than understanding it like this, we have just learned to eliminate equal to. Equal to will always be eliminated, no matter where it will be. Even if it is like this, A equal to B greater than C. So even now A will be greater than C only. Equal to will be dropped no matter where it is coming. Okay. Yes. Tell me there, what is the relationship between A and C? Anyone? Okay, very good. Now, see, so far if you understand, whatever relations we have studied, they have always been unidirectional. That is only in one direction. Both of them facing here, one facing here, both of them facing there, both of them facing here. Okay, so far they have all been in one direction. Anywhere, wherever we have studied. So this is something unique, it is something different. So let's manually solve it. So A is greater than B. I can say A is greater than B. And B is less than C. That can be here. Can I say A equal to C? No. What can I say between A and C? There are 3 possibilities. Either I can write it as A on the top, C next, and or I can write C on the top, A next, and or I can write A here, C with it, and in all the 3 cases, I am only sure of the fact that B is the smallest among these 3. But I don't know anything about the relationship between A and C. Maybe A is greater than C and both of them are greater than B. Maybe C is greater than A and both of them are greater than B. Or maybe A and C are equal and both of them are still greater than B. Do you understand? These are the 3 cases which can be formed here. Agree? That means we come back to the fact that if we have 2 elements, okay, we have 2 elements for which I can't have a definite relationship. Like in this case, you can say that relationship A and not B relationship between A and C cannot be determined. I don't know what is the relation between them. So I will come back to where I had started the session with. Do you remember now? I told you I will bring this back. If no relation, or I would rather say if relationship cannot be determined between 2 entities or 2 elements, what are the possibilities? You will tell me, sir, either it will be greater than, or it will be less than, or it will be. Just remember this logic at this stage. We have still not started with the 5th rule. This is just the groundwork for it. If I have 2 elements which the relationship between who cannot be determined, then there will be 3 possibilities which exist between them. Either one element will be greater, or it will be smaller, or it will be. Got it? Now, where can we identify and conclude that there will be no relation? So anywhere, whenever the signs go into opposite directions, it can be any combination, like A greater than B, A less, A greater. Any combination. Any combination you make up where both the signs are in opposite directions. Either So they call them open door and closed door also. They call them as open door and these are as closed door. But don't go for all that. Signs are simply in opposite directions in every case. Here also this one is facing east, this one is facing west. This one is facing west, this one is facing east. So no matter what, the signs are always in opposite direction. So in all these cases, A and C, the relationship cannot be determined. All these cases. And not only between A and C, but anything after C, even if it is an extended line, something of this sort. I will say that A is greater than B is less than C, equal to D is greater than E, F is less than equal to less than. And I am asking you find the relationship between A and G. The moment I come here, stop me. So A is only related to B. After B, because of this sign, A is blocked from having any relationship with any element after it. So A with C, no relation exists. A with D cannot be determined. A with E cannot be determined. A with F cannot be determined. A with G cannot be determined. A with H cannot be determined. Do you understand this concept here? This is the basic which I need you guys to understand. Okay. Now let's move on to the concept of. So I will give you an example. For conclusion, I have options are okay. Follows there one or two or none. Okay. So how will we know only one rule? What we'll do at this stage only solve it 3 at a time. When we start solving the question is when I'll show you how to make it even more quicker. So we'll say we'll pick these 3 up, okay, and then I will write. So I need to go from A to F this time. I will say A greater than, only need to go till here. Next 3 we will say A greater than D. Next 3 we will say A greater than. Here we can say that. That means relationship between A and F cannot be. If that is the case, if relationship between them cannot be determined, that means nothing between them can be said truly. Can I say A is greater than F? No. Can I say A is less than equal to F? No. Because relationship between them cannot be determined and your conclusions always have to be definite. They have to be 100% accurate, 100% sure. If you are not sure, you will never conclude anything. Are you sure that A is greater than F? No. Are you sure that A is less than equal to F? No. Because I can't conclude of any relationship here. So technically what is my answer? My answer will be none follow. They are both not following. So none follow is my answer. Right? But in these cases, always look at the options. If option C was missing, then none follow would have been the correct answer. No, I wouldn't take any points away. But since we have options present here, that is, if you have the option of either or, you have to check for condition. Whenever you see either or and you come up with some condition like this, with something like this, you will check for 3 conditions. If these 3, all these 3 simultaneously are valid, only then will you tick on either or, otherwise no. Okay. What is either or? Okay. I'll give you a brief example. Supposedly, somebody called me. So I said, oh, somebody called my friend. My friend is sitting there and got a call. I asked him, yeah, who called you? He said, Santosh. Who called you? He just said, Santosh. Now I am thinking to my mind. Can I draw conclusions? Santosh is a boy. Can I draw conclusions? Santosh is a girl. But if I take, so both these conclusions are individually incorrect, right? But if I take them both together, either one of them will be right. Which one is right, I still don't know. I don't know whether the Santosh he spoke to, my friend spoke to, is a male or a female. But I know that if I take both these conclusions together, at least one of them is definitely correct. And that exactly is the case of either or. If I take both these conclusions together, see, I don't know. Individually, they are wrong. I can't say 100% A is greater than F. Neither can I say 100% A is less than equal to F. Because the relationship between A and F cannot be determined. But if I take them together, they are covering all the cases. Either A is greater than F, or A is less than F, or A is equal to F. That's the only possibility. If I take them together, either of them will be correct. Which one, I don't know. And that is exactly precisely what either one or two. So for this, you need to check for three conditions. If those three conditions are valid, only then will you tick on either or. And when will you check those three conditions? Only when either is present in the options. If option C was missing here, it was not here. Or if there was both follow here, something else, you would have chosen none follow here. Okay, let's look at the conditions. What are the conditions? Condition number 1. Both conclusions individually should be individually. Is it happening? Both are individual. Even if one of them was right, supposedly I would have found out some relationship and one of them was right, then either or cannot exist because one is already correct. Either or is only right when both are wrong, but if I take them together, one of them can be right. So the first condition in itself is both of the conclusions should be individually incorrect. And if this is true, only then will you go on to the next one. The next one says there should be combination of all because when I know that relationship between two elements do not exist, I just found out that A and F relationship between them cannot be determined. So I can say either A is greater than F, or A is less than F, or A is equal to F. Correct? So I need to have in the conclusions the combination of these three signs because these are the only possibility. Now combination, you check here. One is greater, one is less than equal to. So greater, less than equal to. Of course, there will always be only two conclusions for either or. So you can't have three signs, no. You will have to make a combination. Or you can also have greater than equal to or less than, not a problem. They are three signs combined into two. Is the combination holding here? Yes, it is. It is the combination of three definite symbols. Then you move on to the third conclusion. It says that same elements let's check the options. Let's check the conclusion. Same elements A and F in both the cases. A and F in both the cases, and the direction is also same. The order is also same. A first, F next. This is also satisfying. Since all these three conditions satisfy, I will conclude that not none follow is either of the conclusion. This is the full number. This is the concept of, but this is not limited here. I am going to extend this further and we are going to delve deeper. Okay, but so far, did you understand what is either or? So, you have a statement, you have been asked about two conclusions, have come to that point and you have understood that there is no relationship which exists or relationship cannot be determined between the statements. There are three possibilities: greater, less and equal. Now you check for the conclusion. Individually they are incorrect. So technically the answer should have been none follow. But the options you find either. You will have to check for the conditions. These are the three conditions. Condition number 1, both conclusions individually incorrect. Yes. Number 2, there should be a combination of three signs between them: greater, less and equal. Condition number 3, they should be the same elements F and in same direction. A first, F. That is true. All three of them are true simultaneously. Then you will take. Easy? Okay. Let's change the game a little bit. Let's change the game a little. Instead of F here, I write Now you tell me what will be the right answer. I think the answer will change now. Do you agree? How many of you now agree that the answer will become D now? None follow. Because this condition is not being set. A is greater than G and A is less than equal to F. Then it is always none follow, beta. Ratnavali, if any condition, even if one condition is not satisfied, then it will be none follow. Then either or is not correct. Excellent, Uttam. Very good, beta. Yes. So in the first go, if I change it to G, so then this is still true. But I think we can't see same elements because one is G and one is F. But still, your answer will be either one or two. Why is that? Because apart from same element, you have equal element. What is same? Same means same, ditto same, exactly same. Equal means they are related with an equal. They are interchangeable. They are replaceable. Instead of F, I can write G. Instead of G, I can write F. That is not a problem at all. This will still hold true. So hence the third rule is now modified. Same or equal elements in same order. What is the same order? This is what same order is. Understand? Okay. The first one I write F is greater than A. Now I write A less than equal to. So you will say, sir, both of them are incorrect. Okay. Combination of three signs greater, less and equal. Yes. Same elements F A. Yes. But the order is different. So what is this? Practically is A is less than F. No. And A is less than equal to F. So technically it is not the combination of the three signs. This is less, less and equal. So this whole thing is incorrect. Hence order matters. Hence order matters. Be careful that the order is same. Did you understand? Everybody, did you understand? Did you understand the concept of equal to? So often they will try to confuse you by giving you another element. They will write equal to in the question and they will replace it with that element. It is very much true, not an issue. Okay. Either all will still hold true. Right? So if at all there is another element, just check whether they are equal or not from the statement. If they are not equal in the statement, supposedly equal to G was not given here, or it was greater than G or less than G or anything else, then you would have said none follow. Because then condition 3 would have not been satisfied. Got it, everyone? This is the primary concept of either or. Now let's go to another example. Okay, let's go to another example. This time I am talking about C and E. Again, I am giving you options. So we need to check between C and E. So pick this up right away. And E, drop this equal to, and we will have C is. Okay. When I say C is greater than equal to E, what do I imply? I mean that C is either greater or equal, but I don't know what it is. Can I conclude C is guarantee equal to E, greater than E? Can I conclude with guarantee that C is equal to E? So technically again it should be none follow. But this time again we have either or in the options. Let's check the conditions. What are the conditions? The conditions. Number 1 was both conclusion. Correct? Correct. Or one is satisfied of signs wanted greater, less and equal. All the three signs, but we have only two signs here. Yes, I think none follows correct because condition not satisfied. Agreed? You're still wrong. Still be either or. Why? Because here, after solving between A and F, I could not determine the relationship. So these conditions for either or hold true when there is no relationship. That is, I cannot determine the relationship. So then we need the combination of three signs, either greater or less or equal, because I don't know what is the actual relationship between them. But here, I have come to a relationship. Only that the relationship is indefinite. Only that the relationship is indefinite. So I can't draw a definite conclusion from it. If I am saying C is greater than or equal to E, I cannot say C is greater than E, I cannot say C is equal to E. So in such cases, when you have an indefinite relationship, you will have combination of components. Then the rule slightly changes here. Now tell me, greater than and equal to, do you have the combination of two component signs? Yes, we do. Second is also valid. Third one is same elements and same order. Instead of same, I can write equal also. Okay, also write C. Still, and now, either conclusion 1 or 2. To understand this, everybody. Okay, so either or is not restricted to two elements when the relationship cannot be determined. It can also be asked in a question where there is an indefinite relationship between the elements and a definite conclusion has been drawn. It's still either or. Okay, so I want you guys to understand a rule here. If an definite relationship exists, then definite is, remember this rule. Remember this rule. Okay. If an indefinite relationship exists, so I found out an indefinite relationship. Definite means greater than equal to, less than equal to. Then I cannot conclude anything definite from it. Not possible. It's incorrect. Understood? This rule is golden rule for you. It's very important because what I'm going to do now, the last leg of the conceptual understanding of inequality, then we are done. Then we'll shift to question. Okay. What I'm going to discuss with you now, after this 1 minute, is one of the most crucial and most important things of inequalities, which 99% of students don't know, and due to which this year in SSC CGL 2025 Tier 1, and a simple question was asked. Everybody ended up either making it mathematical or not using their common sense. Majority of the students fell into that. Even today, I have seen a lot of mocks having incorrect questions because those concepts are not clear to a lot of people. That is exactly what we are going to precisely discuss. Let's have one more example. Last example, then we will shift to the question. Okay. Statement. We'll keep the statement as a constant only. Statement. A is greater than B is equal to D than equal to. And this time, I am talking about, let's say again A and, let's talk about A and D now. Fair enough? We'll have conclusions only, no, right? The options. Then there is no either or to trouble. Which conclusion will follow from this? Yes. Quick answers. Oh no no, you're getting it wrong, beta. Wrong. When recently I had said that if we have greater than equal to, we drop the equal to is between 3 elements, not between 2 elements. Okay. If C is greater than equal to E, I will not drop the equal to from here. I will do it if this was like this. Look at this one. Greater than C equal to D. So then I will drop the equal to. I will only carry forward this sign between B and D. This is different. This is different. This is an indefinite symbol between them. Is it clear, beta? Please understand this, because otherwise the complete chapter will get jeopardized for you. And let me know if you still do not get it. I will be more than happy to explain it again. Yeah? Okay, okay. A lot of students, except for Prudhvi, have gone with option B. Okay, great, Uttam. Very okay. So let's go for this. So it's asking about A and E. Let's start quickly. Know that A is and C only needed till A and E. So let's not go further. Drop this. One relationship. What about the other? We need B and D. This up. Dropped. Now you only tell me the answer. I have written this in front of you. Again, I am giving you an opportunity. So we have two conclusions. I mean, we have two relations between us. A is greater than E and B is greater than D. So I think moments ago I taught you, right? Moments ago I taught you. So according to that, this will be wrong and this will be right. Correct? So only 2 follows is the right answer. Absolutely. Absolutely. Why? Why is that? Just now this guy taught us 5 minutes, 2 minutes back, shouting at the top of his voice that if this exists, then this will not exist and vice versa. Observe where we are going. Read this rule now. If an indefinite relationship exists, then definite conclusion cannot be drawn. But here, if a definite relationship is existing, then definite conclusion. The golden rule which I want to. If a definite relationship exists, then and definite conclusion drawn, not a. So vice versa is not true. If A is greater than equal to E, then A greater than E I cannot say. But if I know A is greater than E, then A greater than equal to E I can definitely say. Why is that? Why is that? Because I am telling you, guarantee 100% A is greater than E. I have found this out from the statement only. So this is 100% true. Here I am saying either A is greater than E or A is equal to E. Yeah, so no problem. I know A is greater than E. So this is also true. Not an issue at all. Equal to part can be ignored here. That is the beauty. And it's a very basic common sense thing. But it does not strike to us in the exam. And exactly in this pattern, SSC CGL 2025 asked an exam. 90% of the students fell for the trap and marked it in. And later even fought for the fact that, the question is incorrect, is labeled incorrectly, give us marks, this and that. But then finally they understood that they were conceptually at fault. Okay? So what is the rule here? If definite relation indefinite but of course in the same direction. If I'm saying A is greater than E, then A greater than equal to E will be right. I can't say A is greater than E, so A less than equal to E is right. That is not possible. Okay. Now, some of you will ask me, what if I had A equal to E here? That will not be right because that is technically definite, no? Only indefinite will be right when definite is true. But vice versa is not true. Did you understand this, everybody? This is the game. This is the actual logic, which is the most important but very simple. Great, great, great. Awesome. So now we are all done. We are all set with this topic. We will move on to the questions now. Only 6 questions, not more than that, and then we are done for the session today. And in the next session, I will bring in-depth, in-detail questions for you. Practice inequalities. All previous year, but not labeled and from multiple exams. We are not restricting our mindset to one exam here. These topics are basic topics. They are asked in every exam and in a different way. So the more you learn, the better you will feel. Okay. Just give me just a few seconds. I will just set things up. Okay, yeah. So all these things are mentioned here as notes, proper, handwritten, clear, printed notes. Right? I'll share this with you, this PDF, so you will get it. Don't worry. Okay. First question. Everybody, answers in the chat box. Answers in the chat box. They are all previous year questions. Just that they are not labeled. So they are from random different examinations. No. Hemant, that's it. That's sufficient. Perfect, guys. Very good. Okay, great. So what is happening here? We need to isolate the relationship between R and T here. Both the cases, right? Okay, so only study from R to T. Now, those of you know, very nice. Those of you who are now with me solving those 3 group methods, we will now learn a technique to shorten our time. How we can only solve it with observation. Don't do anything, just observe in groups of 3, keep deleting signs. So here equal to will drop, here they are opposite to each other, stop at this position. That means R is not related to anything after C. That means R is not related to T. Relationship between R and T cannot be determined. Technically my answer should have been unfollow, but I have Lord either sitting here. If Lord either is sitting, I will have to check its 3 conditions. Condition number 1, both conclusions are individually incorrect. Condition number 2, since there is relationship cannot be determined, combination of 3 signs between them, greater than, less than and equal to, true. Condition number 3, same elements, same direction, correct. Either conclusion 1 or 2. Here, next. Is Lord either only, because the moment you see Lord either in the options, you should start fearing it. Very good. Excellent. In one of the sessions, people were confused. I will tell you where. So the first thing is asking us about T and S. So we will go only from here to here. Okay. Now, less than equal to and equal to drop. Less than equal to and less than, this will drop. We are only left with one sign. So how is it related? S is less than T. Now some people in haste, what they read it as S is less than T. Here they read T first, so they said no, this is not right. Why isn't it right? I am saying that order should be the same. It is only restricted in the either or case. And I told you the reason also, because the sign will change. But here, I can say S is less than T. Doesn't it imply T is greater than S? It is one and the same thing only, no? If 10 is greater than 5, can't I say 5 is less than 10? Is it something different? No. So this is right. Okay. Similarly, between W and V, we will check. So we will drop the equal to. V is greater than W. That is, W is less than V. Same thing. Here the answer is both conclusions. Okay. Little misconceptions people have. That's what we need to eliminate. Great. X and T. They are asking us about X and T. To go from here to here. Here and here I will go, but now I don't even have to solve anything. I will just look at this. These are opposite signs here. That means X is not related to anything after F. X and T are not related. It cannot be determined. What about R and W? R and W, same thing immediately. So after P only R is not related to anything. We also don't have Lord either in the options. So no issue at all. This is a clean question. Option B, none follow. Neither of them follow. Okay. Next. Now here, the things will slightly change. So far you saw 3 questions based on statement conclusion, which is a standard method of asking questions in any either railway or SSC. But this is another method how they can put across the question. Banking often asks questions on these formats, okay? But it is not unique to banking. Even railways has done it in the past and SSC has done it one time. You can expect this also. Now here there are 2 different concepts. Number 1, that the way of asking the question has changed. Okay, is no more statement and conclusion. The options are conclusions themselves. Only one. Number 2, there are 2 different expressions, not a single expression, not a single long expressions. There are 2 shorter expressions. Might have to join. You will join them at the common element. Try to solve this and then I will explain it to you. I'll discuss it with you once majority of you are done with the answer. Read the question carefully. The question is asking you which of the following options is not correct. So that conclusion should not follow basically. That is what they are asking us. Okay, very good. That's very smart. Ish, Navali, Uttam, 8 month. Yeah, excellent guys. Stop. So now we have 2 expressions here. ER and E by KQ. We need to connect G and Q. We have only one common element E here. There are 2 approaches to this. Approach number 1, I will write it like this. G equal to E. From E, I will continue from there. E by greater than K. So I can relate G and Q easily now. Method number 2 is, approach number 2 is, I solve from G to E here and from E to here. And then I connect both of them. But that will take slightly more time. That might not be required. Here I can clearly visualize that G is greater than Q. Why? Because equal to will be dropped. These signs are same. So G is greater than Q. But the first option is saying G is less than Q. So this is incorrect. And that is what I am looking for. I am looking for the incorrect option. Technically in the exam you are done now. You should move on to the next question. But for the sake of practice, I will try to isolate and identify all the 3 options. So let's check between R and Q. How will I relate R and Q? So R and Q, how can I relate them? I have this expression only. I will write it as E is less than D less than. Now I need to go from E to Q. And here also, I am going only in the right direction. So not necessarily, I can flip it. E equal to y, I can write it like this. Y is greater than k, I can write it like this. K is greater than q, I can write it like this. Can I do this? Now I can easily relate q and r, can't I? In a single line. That means it is very flexible. So you should be very flexible in joining these expressions in any direction whatsoever. Just that the common point will matter. That's it. You can drop elements in between. You can write the elements. Say, like here, we did not use G at all. It was not required only. Why to waste time? Here, we did not use D and R because it was not required. Why to waste time? Okay. So you can keep joining expressions as per requirement. Some people have a habit of joining it in the very first go. They will make a single long expression and then solve. That might actually eat up a lot of your time. You might not even need that in the first. Okay. So R is greater than Q. Can you see that it's clearly visible here? This will be deleted. Equal to will be dropped. Everything is the same. So Q is less than R. Q is less than R is as good as R is greater than Q. Okay. And we already know G is here. So we can say G equal to E less than D is less than R. So G is less than R. It is visible here. So this is also right. What about Y is less than R? It is visible here again. Y is less than R. All these are correct except for option. The exam, please do not verify all the options. Only check for the one. Of course, if you supposedly A was true, then you would have proceeded further. Otherwise, no. The moment you get your answer, move ahead. Next. Now, the expressions have shortened further. They have given you single expressions. G greater than T, comma, H equal to B, comma, T greater than H. They are all individual expressions. Okay. Join as per requirement. This time they are asking you which of the following expressions is correct. They are not asking you which is incorrect. They are asking you which is correct now. Okay. Excellent. Right. Right. Let's discuss this. They are asking us which of the expression is correct. The first expression is here, G is and T. They are saying G. Now K and H. I have H here. I have K here. Luckily, we have B in common right here only. We'll join them. H equal to B and K. Direction does not matter. What can I say between H and K? Equal to will be dropped. I can say H is greater than K. Or K is less than H. So I found the correct answer. I'll mark it and move ahead in the exam. Don't check the other two. But again, for now, for practice, I will check. T is greater than T. How can I join B and T? Again, I can see T and H and B and H here. So T is greater than H. I can write it here only. Between B and T, what is the relationship? T is greater than B. But here it is saying B is greater than T. T is less than T is right, but B is greater than T is not right. What about G and M? You can see G is greater than T and T is equal to M. So G is greater than M. But it is saying G is less than M. So this is also. Got it? Last question for today's session. Last question for today's session. Then we are done with inequalities. We will continue in the next session from So the only thing which you learn from here is, like I told you, do not join the expression beforehand. Observe from the options whether even you need to join it or not. Here, individually from the expressions, you would have found the answers. This is a trap for those students who have a habit of joining them beforehand only. Don't do that. It's useless. Okay, good job. So again, they're asking her which is not correct. Okay, H is greater than D. It's visible here only. H is greater than D. And by now, I think, by now only, a lot of you will now read and relate it right away. You don't have to delete equal to in your head. You don't have to make groups of 3. It's there in your head now. Now you can see H is greater than D. Z is less than H here. H is greater than Z, so Z is less than H. Obviously, this is P is less than M here. M is greater than P, so P is less than M. Obviously, this is true. They are asking you which is not correct. There is only one option left which is not correct. The exam, please mark it now and move ahead. Do not spend even a single second to check option D. Exam. Right now, I will do it for you because we are practicing. But in the exam, by the time you reach there, make sure that you save every single second when you're solving the question. If you have eliminated 3 options already, do not bother checking the 4th. Provided, of course, your accuracy is very good. Otherwise, so can't help it. Okay, so Z is greater than K. Here it is. We know that. So from the options only you can conclude because H is equal to K. But any which ways, you clearly see that K is greater than Z. But they are saying Z is greater than K. So obviously that is the incorrect. Alright, with that, we are done with the complete conceptual understanding of inequalities. Good depth, right? We have solved some different questions. And I have one dedicated session with you to practice only questions till the end. For 1 hour, we'll practice questions and good thorough exposure you're going to get so that everything is covered from the concept of inequality. Hopefully this session was useful. Hopefully you learned something new today. I will see you around in the next session. Till then, you guys take care. Bye-bye. Namaskar. हाँ उत्तम कर सकते हो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. You can do it, but that will only take a lot of your time. Okay guys, bye bye.